Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. I am so happy to be here with you all today. I am Jamila McMallow, and I am a mindset coach for women executives and entrepreneurs. I help my clients to heal their issues from childhood in my 90-day program, which is a results oriented alternative to traditional talk therapy. Yes, there is more than one way to do your emotional healing. There are many routes. Okay. And I'm an alternative route for those that like the alternative route. So I just got off of a very incredible training in a really awesome business coaches program. I was talking about how inner child healing can be related to seeing your big vision, and how not really addressing those underlying issues from childhood can really hold you back from being able to see or embrace your ability to envision something bigger for your life. So I wanted to talk to you all very briefly today on this topic of how your childhood really didn't have to be traumatic for it to have had an effect on you. Sometimes that's the perception, right? That, oh, you had to have something huge or your life had to be in shambles growing up in order for you to have come out with all these issues and things like that. It's not about that. When I say I help my clients heal their issues from childhood, what I am talking about is the fact is all of our parents were imperfect. All of them. Not one of them was perfect. Many of them did their best. I know there are some who, didn't have the best experience with their parents, but for the most part, our parents did their best with they could, with the information they had and the understanding and maturity they had at the time that they were raising us. Okay. A large part of what we got from them was good, because you wouldn't be where you are right now doing the incredible things that you're doing, in your corporate job, in your business. If you're an entrepreneur, you wouldn't be doing these incredible, amazing, phenomenal things if some of the things that your parents gave you through their example, through their conditioning, through their messaging wasn't good. They are also responsible for what's good about you as well. But now that you're an adult, you get to choose what you're going to keep and what you're going to throw away. Because the fact is, when you were a little girl, all you were was wide open, wide open. And every experience that you had, everything that you saw and heard, you just were wide open and accepted it. Hey, Juan, thank you for the love. And so you were just receiving it all in, taking it all in. But here's the thing. You didn't have any sort of construct or ability to understand what was happening. And so in your little girl mind, did your best to just, figure it out and make sense of it all. So you developed some very simple black and white rules that became what governs your life and how you see things, who you believe you're allowed to be, what you believe you're allowed to have, what you believe you're allowed to do. So that happened, whether there was abuse going on in the home, whether there was no food on the table, it happened, period. You were wide open and received everything into you, did your best to make sense of it, and developed a set of beliefs from it in conjunction with what your parents also established, which was who you are allowed to be, what you are allowed to do, what you are allowed to have, by them telling you, no, you can't do this. No, you can't have that. How they handled money, how they set the example for you in what it means to work. Were they always struggling? Did your dad work long hours? What was this relationship or with money or with hard work or with struggle that you saw? Okay. Could have been the best father, very loving, exceptional in those ways. But again, they weren't perfect. And so you still picked up on things that entered into your belief system that are not serving you as an adult. Now that you're an adult, you have the ability to look at everything that you were given and choose to keep the good and choose to get rid of what's not working for you. So it doesn't matter whether you had a great childhood or a terrible childhood. Your parents laid the foundation for who you are. And by the way, that happened by their presence or even their absence. Even if they weren't there, that still told you something about yourself. Okay? And oftentimes, when we think of childhood issues, we can easily relate it to how we deal with other people, right? We'll say, okay, well, I have daddy issues. So, of course, I struggle in relationships with men, or I have mommy issues. So, of course, I don't like spending time with women. I'm one of the guys, women, they're too catty, they're too this, they're too that. Okay. Or you have some type of negative relationship with money. Whatever it is, the fact is, it's the construct for who it is that you believe you are. That's what they wrote on. Okay. And like I said, now you get to choose what you're going to keep and what you're going to throw away. It's very interesting to me when I hear someone say, oh, well, I've already healed that, or I've already, this and that. And that may be true. But I always find it interesting because the fact is, we were not formed in 5 minutes. Do you understand what I'm saying? A lifetime of information and beliefs and all those things was created over a stretch of time. And to unravel it does not have to take time. But in order to fully unravel it, you have to go to the crux, to the root, to the bottom of it. And that is in childhood, whether it was traumatic or not. And here's the thing, dealing with your childhood, doing the inner work is not a referendum on your parents. This is not about, an act of disloyalty to them. This is not blaming them at all. Like I said, we've acknowledged they did the best they could with what they had. But you're an adult now and you've got to figure it out for yourself. And you're probably doing things that nobody else in your family did. Okay. You're probably the first woman to be in the job that you're in, to be a successful entrepreneur, trailblazer, head of the pack. You're probably the first woman to be in this socioeconomic bracket that you are in. So you're really, in a sense, kind of like alone. You don't have a roadmap. Nobody laid it out for you before. So what your parents gave you, the foundation that you were built upon of who you believe you are, is limited because your parents couldn't give you what they didn't have. Okay. And that's whether they were the best parents in the world or the worst. They couldn't give you what they didn't have. And so you now, as the adult and taking radical responsibility, ownership for your life, you now have to give yourself what you did not get. And you have to fully embrace and own what you did and be grateful for it. Okay. So that's all I really had for you today. As I just wanted to hop on here and share that with you, that it doesn't matter whether or not your childhood was hugely traumatic or not. Here's what I want you to understand is that all trauma means is that you had a painful experience. That's all trauma means, painful experience. In our minds, we tend to have this idea that it has to be something huge, this horrible, ongoing, prolonged experience that happened that shaped who we are. And that can be true, but it may not be true. But nonetheless, the relationship with our parents, how we experience their presence or absence, our childhood shaped the people that we are today. And all of it wasn't great. And when we hit our upper limits and we find ourselves in a place to where we feel like we're blocked or we're stuck, it's not something outside of us. Okay. It is not something outside of us. It is something that we have to look inward to deal with. The deeper we go, the more profound and powerful the transformation. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're in a program with a business coach, a sales coach, strategy, anything along the lines is not of a non-emotional nature, and you're having trouble getting results, if you're having trouble implementing, you probably got some stuff going on in your mindset, in your emotions that needs to be dealt with. Okay. And I know that sometimes that can mean your coach is getting frustrated with you because they want you to get a result. They want you to succeed. That's why you hired them. But this piece over here, if you don't deal with it, then it makes this part that much harder. Strategy is absolutely essential. Action is what is going to get you results, not thinking, not, any of these other things, just sitting around doing nothing. You have to get into action. And I'm connected to a really great mentor. And she says, if you want phenomenal results, you got to be willing to do phenomenal things. And that's so true. So actions will produce results. But what I'm saying is, what may be preventing you from getting into action is what's going on in here. And getting this on board does not have to take a long time. In my program, it is a 90-day program where I help women executives and entrepreneurs to heal their issues from childhood. It is a results-oriented, non-woo alternative to traditional talk therapy, because there is more than one way to do your emotional healing. Okay. I also work with or collaborate with business coaches, sales coaches, marketing visibility coaches who have clients who aren't necessarily getting results because they have these mindset and emotional blocks going on. So if that sounds like you in either case, I invite you to send me a direct message. I would love to talk with you about what's going on, whether it be personally or in your business. And then, we can take the conversation from there. But I just wanted to be brief today. I didn't want to be on here for too long, but I thank you so much for watching, and you guys take care, and I will see you next time.